I thank God that I've always never really looked back and regretted. When I walk away, I walk.
For 6 years, Janet Jackson and her Muslim billionaire partner shared a love story that defied all odds. Despite cultural and religious differences, the pair remained devoted to one another, building a life together that was filled with joy, passion, and mutual respect. But as the years passed, cracks began to appear in their once perfect union. In a dramatic turn of events, the couple's love story was tragically cut short, leaving Janet heartbroken and alone. Join us as we explore the turbulent history of this fairy tale romance, uncovering the secrets and scandals that led to its devastating end. Janet's marriages have been marked by heartbreak, but when she thought she had found the one, everything took an unexpected turn. Janet Jackson's marriage to Wissam Almana. Jackson is a devoted single mother to her 7-year-old son, Isa Almana, whom she co-parents with her former husband, Wissam Almana, in London. But who exactly is Almana, who is said to have parted ways with Jackson just 4 months after their child's birth? Here's a closer look at the Qatari businessman. Almana serves as a board member and co-managing director of the Almana Group, a vast Qatari conglomerate that oversees 55 companies across 8 nations. The group's ventures span various sectors, including automotive, fashion, real estate, entertainment, and luxury goods. With a reported net worth of around $1 billion, according to The Richest, he stands as one of the most affluent investors in the Middle East. Additionally, he owns La Zinc, an art gallery located in London, as noted by The Business of Fashion. Jackson and Almana began their relationship in 2010, tied the knot in 2012, and faced a tumultuous divorce in 2017. During this period, Janet's brother, Randy Jackson, claimed that she was enduring an abusive situation, characterized by verbal abuse and feeling like a prisoner in her own home. Other reports suggested that Almana exhibited controlling behavior as a husband. In response, Almana's legal team stated, "Mr. Almana is not going to dignify these particular and deeply hurtful allegations with a response." The situation escalated further when law enforcement became involved. In June 2018, while Isa was with his father in a hotel room, Jackson reportedly called the police to ensure her son's safety as his nanny was present. The motives behind the call remain unclear. Entertainment Tonight revealed that Randy Jackson mentioned Isa's nanny felt threatened by Almana's aggressive demeanor. On the other hand, TMZ reported that Jackson informed the police of her worries regarding Almana possibly using drugs in the presence of her son. However, Entertainment Tonight also cited another insider who suggested that the commotion stemmed from Almana refusing to share the hotel's Wi-Fi password with Isa's nanny. Despite the complexities of his relationship with his ex-wife, Almana appears to be a devoted father to their son. He expressed on his website, "To my cherished son, Isa, you are a true blessing and a source of joy. My love for you is unconditional, and I will always protect and guide you through life's journey." Beyond his business ventures, Almana also invests his wealth in charitable initiatives. His website highlights his support for organizations like UNICEF, Women's Voices Now, which promotes women's rights through film, Hoping Foundation, which aids Palestinian children, Reach Out to Asia, which strives to provide education to those affected by crises in Asia and beyond, and Little Village, which assists families in London with young children facing poverty through baby banks. During Almana's marriage to Jackson, he found himself at the center of a scandal involving the dismissal of a female employee from Almana Interiors. This employee, Marte Deborah Delelve, had reported being sexually violated by a colleague during a business trip to Dubai, as reported by Business Standard. Instead of receiving support, she faced prosecution for perjury, alcohol consumption, and engaging in extramarital relations. Dalelve asserted that shortly after she made her allegations, she was terminated for misconduct and breach of employment duties. However, a representative from the company refuted her claims, stating that her dismissal was due to her refusal to engage in positive and constructive discussions about her employment status, and had no connection to her accusations of sexual violations. The singer chose to get a divorce from her billionaire husband in 2017, citing cultural differences as the reason, just after she had their son. Almana also honored their agreement by paying Jackson $200 million when they separated. However, this is not her first marriage. Let's take a look at her other marriages. Marriage with Renee Elizondo. After years of maintaining the secrecy of her marriage, Janet Jackson faced a divorce lawsuit from songwriter and director Renee Elizondo. The divorce petition, which cited irreconcilable differences, revealed that the couple had been married since March 31, 1991, had separated in January 1999, and had no children together. Amidst speculation that they had eloped, Jackson explained her desire to keep the marriage hidden, stating in a release, "To have a normal family life since childhood, my personal life has been exposed to the public," she noted. "This has often been challenging. I hope my fans will understand." The singer's relationship with Elizondo had not been completely private. Elizondo collaborated with Jackson for 15 years, co-writing 37 of her songs, including the notable 1997 album The Velvet Rope, and directing several of her music videos. His hands were also featured on the infamous topless cover of Rolling Stone magazine. Despite having a prenuptial agreement, Elizondo challenged its validity and terms, as stated by his attorney, Manley Freed. "We don't have a specific amount in mind," Freed mentioned. "We haven't obtained a complete financial overview yet. However, Renee is not aiming to take advantage of Janet to claim what he is legally entitled to." While the couple had once lived together in San Diego, where they got married, Jackson, reportedly, bought a new house in West Los Angeles soon after their separation. They had shared their finances during their marriage, but it was reported that Elizondo had no personal savings. Marriage with DeBarge. In September 1984, Jackson and DeBarge exchanged vows, but their union was short-lived, culminating in an annulment by November 1985. For Jackson, marrying DeBarge was a bold move to reclaim her independence from her father, Joe Jackson's, controlling influence. Yet she soon confronted the harsh truth of DeBarge's struggles with substance abuse. Their paths first crossed on the set of Soul Train, where DeBarge's group was making its debut. Janet was there alongside her sister LaToya and brother Jermaine, and the two quickly connected over their shared passion for music, both coming from rich artistic backgrounds. Janet began her romance with DeBarge when he was just 16, and they both made every effort to stay together despite the challenges they faced. As they made the momentous decision to tie the knot, Jackson kept her intentions a secret from her family. They ran away to Grand Rapids, Michigan, where DeBarge's uncle officiated their wedding. Yet on their wedding night, DeBarge vanished, promising to return soon but leaving Jackson alone for 3 long hours. In the months that followed, DeBarge's struggles with substance abuse began to take a toll on their relationship. There were nights when Jackson found herself wandering the streets, searching for her missing husband at strange hours. Just 13 months after their vows, the couple parted ways in November 1985. Not only has Janet Jackson experienced sadness in her relationship, she also lost her favorite brother, who was the king of pop. Janet's reaction after Michael's death. Janet Jackson refrained from watching television following the unexpected death of her brother Michael in Los Angeles. She isolated herself from the intense media attention that surrounded his death, including the rampant speculations and inquiries. She expressed that such circumstances could drive anyone to madness, stating that while people may appear resilient, there are moments when emotions can deeply affect them. She admitted to not following the news for several weeks and even had to inquire with her chef about Obama's health, as she had not read a newspaper during that time. She emphasized the added pain of losing a family member amidst everything else. Janet mentioned that the last time she saw Michael was just 2 days prior to her 43rd birthday. It had been a family gathering, with the Jackson children playing around while she and her older brother enjoyed each other's company, shared Thai food, and playfully teased one another. She reflected on that day, saying it had been filled with joy, her voice barely above a whisper. She added that they had kept in touch afterward, expressing how wonderful the day had been. Shortly after, Janet departed to begin her work on Tyler Perry's film, Why Did I Get Married Too? While she was on set in Atlanta, she received the heartbreaking news of Michael's passing. She quickly returned to Los Angeles, facing a deeply personal family sorrow that was exposed to the public eye. One of the most emotional moments from the memorial service was when Michael's daughter, Paris, took the microphone and expressed, "Daddy has been the best father you could ever imagine," before seeking comfort from her Aunt Janet. Janet expressed her pride in that moment, noting that many people told her that Paris's words provided insight into Michael's role as a father. She described Paris as incredibly intelligent and sweet, and reassured that the children were doing well, surrounded by their cousins, with the love of their family supporting them. After the service, Janet, along with her sisters LaToya and Rebby, engaged with the fans. Janet expressed a brief and soft thank you, which was met with enthusiastic applause. She remarked that she had no recollection of the moment, stating that she had not intended to speak at all, and had left that night to return to Atlanta for filming. Janet has always found work to be a source of comfort. She mentioned that she managed well, noting that work allows her to channel her energy into something meaningful. Janet expressed that she is not very talkative, which explains why people tend to react with applause when she does speak. Although she is the youngest member of the Jackson family, she serves as a central figure in many respects. She mentioned that she was unsure why it was the case, but suggested that sometimes the person one least hears from is the one they most wish to hear from. She reflected on the lessons she had learned, stating that she always aspired to possess her mother Katherine Jackson's strength, though she was uncertain if it truly existed within her. A few years ago, she experienced an event that revealed to her that it did. With a focused look, she noted that she would not specify the event, as it was something everyone was aware of. She added that in light of recent events, her understanding of her own strength had deepened. She had been concentrating on her responsibilities within her family at that time. After a brief pause, she affirmed that she now recognizes her ability to rise to challenges without faltering when needed. She concluded by emphasizing that when faced with something as serious, painful, and traumatic as this, she is capable of managing it. Janet had managed her public persona for over 20 years. Her revolutionary album, Rhythm Nation 1814, had been released 2 decades ago that fall. She had sold more than 100 million albums globally and achieved 41 #1 singles on the Billboard charts. Her extraordinary tours, unforgettable dance style, and bold yet relatable presence were matched only by her late brother. In the 1995 futuristic Scream video, where she collaborated with Michael, there was a memorable moment when the space-age siblings jostled for the remote control. "Yeah," she had said with a smile, "we enjoyed ourselves so much back then. We would plan our days together and go out for vegetarian lunches at the Golden Temple in LA. We were incredibly busy, but we always found time." When discussing Michael's fashion sense, Janet's enthusiasm was evident. She reflected on her brother, saying he used to wear the same red shirt, black pants, and white t-shirt, emphasizing his straightforward style. She shared that from the age of 14, she would shop for him, manage his laundry, and tidy his room, especially when their mother traveled and entrusted her with his care. She added with a chuckle that Michael would wear his shoes until they were completely worn out, recalling his penny loafers often ended up with holes in the soles. Janet also revealed that Michael cherished his iconic single white glove, explaining that the idea came from their brother, Jackie, who suggested he wear one white glove, to which Michael added the studs. When asked if he wore the glove at family dinners, she laughed, clarifying that he didn't. She also admitted to attempting the moonwalk. though she added that no one could do it quite like Michael. Janet recalled that Michael had a love for anything shiny or with bling. She explained that he adored the drummer boy look and reminisced about the black jacket he wore for Motown's 25th anniversary, revealing that it was actually their mother's jacket, taken straight from her closet. His love for glittery outfits persisted throughout his life, and she mentioned that on the last day she saw him, Michael was wearing a Balmain jacket, black, jeweled, and studded with rhinestones. However, while the public is fascinated by what will happen to Michael's estate and iconic jackets, Janet stated she has no interest in wearing them herself, adding firmly that they should go to his children, if anything. Janet reflected on the contrast between the public's view of Michael and her family's experience. She pointed out that while Michael was an icon to the world, to them, he was simply family. She noted that people often create fantasies based on what they see on TV, but getting to know the real person was different. Janet described Michael as a protective big brother, though they never discussed the challenges of being in the spotlight because it was just part of their job. Janet also wanted the world to know more about Michael's playful side. She shared that he loved to laugh, sometimes so hard that he would start crying. His sense of humor could be corny or dry, and he had a particular love for the Three Stooges, slapstick comedy, and Eddie Murphy's silly movies. He loved having fun and playing around. If Janet could spend one more day with him, she said she would want to relive their childhood moments, spending the whole day together as they used to, feeding the animals and just enjoying each other's company. However, one addition to the family seems to have music running in his blood. Isa Almana. On January 3, 2017, Jackson and Almana joyfully welcomed their son, Isa. Janet Jackson and her husband, Wissam Almana, are overjoyed to announce the arrival of their baby boy, Isa Almana. Janet experienced a smooth and healthy delivery. The Jackson family rejoiced at the news, with LaToya and Jermaine Jackson, Janet's siblings, taking to social media to share their heartfelt congratulations. Even Joe Jackson, the proud grandfather, celebrated the birth of his grandchild through posts on social media and his personal website. Just a few days after her split from Almana, Jackson shared the first glimpse of her son when he was 14 weeks old. The adorable photo captured Isa yawning, while Jackson lovingly kissed his forehead. Although Jackson grew up in Indiana before relocating to Los Angeles, her son is being raised across the Atlantic. The singer is co-parenting Isa with her ex-husband in London. Isa is already showing signs of following in the family's musical legacy. During a February 2020 appearance on The Tonight Show, Jackson revealed to host Jimmy Fallon that her little one was beginning to take an interest in music. In a recent interview, she shared that Questlove, the talented frontman of The Roots, gifted her son a drum kit that he absolutely adores. During her chat with Fallon, Jackson recounted how her son initially picked the violin at just 2 years old, but soon after, he opted for a different string instrument instead. Just months after celebrating his first birthday, little Isa had already developed a fondness for a particular artist, Bruno Mars. In a conversation with Billboard in May 2018, prior to receiving the Billboard Icon Award, Jackson revealed, "Bruno Mars was really the first music my son responded to." Even as a young child, Isa began to exhibit an interest in the family legacy, often mimicking his late uncle, Michael Jackson, who passed away in June 2009 at the age of 50. When Isa was still a baby, Jackson and Ciara took their children for a fun-filled play date at Disneyland, joined by Ciara's eldest, future Zahir. A former backup dancer of Jackson's, James Collins, shared a snapshot of the outing on his Instagram story, showcasing both mothers with their little ones. Jackson embraces her role as a devoted mother. In various interviews during Isa's early years, she opened up about the challenges of balancing work and motherhood, telling the Daily Telegraph's Stellar magazine in August 2019, "It is hard being a working mother. I don't have a nanny, I do it all myself." During her appearance on Carrie and Tommy in November 2019, she elaborated on her choice to not hire a nanny, citing her own mother's strength in raising 9 children alone as her inspiration. But to understand more about Janet Jackson, let's take a look at her early life. Early life. Janet Demita Jo Jackson entered the world on May 16, 1966, in the bustling city of Gary, Indiana. As the youngest of 10 siblings in the Jackson clan, she grew up in a modest 2-bedroom home on Jackson Street, where her working-class African-American family thrived. Her mother, Catherine Esther Jackson, née Scrouse, a talented clarinet and piano player, had dreams of becoming a country and western star while juggling a part-time job at Sears. Meanwhile, her father, Joseph Walter Joe Jackson, a former boxer turned crane operator at U.S. Steel, supplemented the family's income by strumming his guitar with a local rhythm and blues band known as the Falcons. Janet's lineage included her great-great-grandfather, July Jack Gale, a U.S. Army scout, with family tales suggesting he was also a Native American medicine man. Growing up alongside her 2 sisters, Rebby and Latoya, and 6 brothers, Jackie, Tito, Jermaine, Marlon, Michael, and Randy, Janet faced the loss of her twin brother Brandon shortly after birth. The Jackson family practiced their faith as devout Jehovah's Witnesses, although Janet would later distance herself from organized religion. From an early age, Janet's brothers began to make waves as the Jackson 5 in the Chicago-Gary area. In March 1969, they struck a record deal with Motown, quickly soaring to fame with their first #1 hit, prompting the family to relocate to the Encino neighborhood of Los Angeles. Initially, Janet dreamed of becoming a horse racing jockey or an entertainment lawyer, hoping to support herself through acting. However, the allure of the entertainment industry beckoned her, especially after she recorded her own tracks in the studio. At just 7 years old, Janet and her sisters took the stage at the MGM Casino on the iconic Las Vegas Strip. A biography later revealed that her father, Joseph, was emotionally distant, insisting she call him only by his first name during her childhood. In 1976, she began her acting career on the variety show The Jacksons, marking the start of her journey in the entertainment world. In 1977, she landed a prominent role as Penny Gordon Woods in the beloved sitcom Good Times. Following that, she took the spotlight in A New Kind of Family and secured a recurring part on Different Strokes, where she brought to life the character Charlene Dupre from seasons 3 through 6. Additionally, Jackson portrayed Cleo Hewitt in the 4th season of Fame, although she felt detached from the series, largely due to the emotional turmoil stemming from her secret marriage to R&B artist James DeBarge. In a later interview with Anderson Cooper, she reminisced about her experiences on the show, sharing that the cast often played playful pranks on her, yet she held warm memories of them. At the age of 15, Jackson's father and manager, Joseph Jackson, orchestrated a deal for her with A&M Records. Her debut album, simply titled Janet Jackson, hit the shelves in 1982. Produced by Angela Winbush, Renee Moore, Bobby Watson of Rufus, and Leon Silvers III, with her father overseeing the project, the album climbed to number 63 on the Billboard 200 and reached number 6 on the R&B albums chart, despite minimal promotional efforts. It made its mark on the Billboard Top Black Albums of 1983, with Jackson emerging as the top-ranking female vocalist on the Billboard year-end Black Album Artists list. 2 years later, Jackson released her second album, Dream Street. This album peaked at number 147 on the Billboard 200 and number 19 on the R&B albums chart. The lead single, Don't Stand Another Chance, soared to number 9 on Billboard's R&B singles chart. Both albums primarily showcased a bubblegum pop sound. Following the release of her second album, Jackson made the bold decision to sever business ties with her family, stating, "I just wanted to get out of the house, get out from under my father, which was one of the most difficult things that I had to do." In her pursuit of a third album, she collaborated with the renowned producers Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. Their goal was to create a sound that would resonate in the pop world while firmly establishing a presence in the urban market. Within a mere 6 weeks, they produced her third studio album, Control, which hit the shelves in February 1986. The album quickly soared to the top of the Billboard 200 chart and achieved a remarkable 5-fold platinum certification from the Recording Industry Association of America, RIAA, with global sales exceeding 10 million copies. Control was hailed as remarkably nervy and mature for a young artist, offering a refreshing alternative to the sentimental ballads that dominated the airwaves. Critics drew parallels between Jackson and Donna Summer, noting her refusal to settle for novelty status as she forged her own path to success. Control garnered 6 Billboard Awards, including Top Pop Singles Artist, and received 3 Grammy nominations, including Album of the Year. It also claimed 4 American Music Awards out of 12 nominations, setting an unbroken record. Musical influences. Jackson regards Lena Horne as a significant source of inspiration, not only for herself but for entertainers across multiple generations. Following Horne's passing, she remarked, "Horne brought immense joy to everyone, even to those younger than me. Her talent was extraordinary, and she paved the way for artists like me." In a similar vein, she looks up to Dorothy Dandridge as one of her role models. Jackson has openly expressed her admiration for Joni Mitchell, saying, "I am a huge fan of Joni Mitchell. As a child, I was captivated by her records. Her songs resonated with me on a deeply personal level." She also holds Tina Turner in high esteem, noting, "Tina has emerged as a heroic figure for countless individuals, particularly women, due to her incredible resilience. For me, Tina's presence in my life feels timeless. Her music has always been there, and I believe it always will be." Additionally, she has cited other socially aware artists like Tracy Chapman, Sly and the Family Stone, U2, and Bob Dylan as key influences in her life. In the early stages of her career, Jackson acknowledged her brothers, Michael and Jermaine Jackson, as pivotal musical inspirations. The allure of her performances. Jackson's artistic vision for her music videos and live performances was deeply rooted in the musicals she cherished during her childhood. She drew significant inspiration from the iconic choreography of legends like Fred Astaire and Michael Kidd. Over the years, she has collaborated with and elevated the careers of many talented choreographers, including Tina Landon, Paula Abdul, and Michael Kidd himself. Jackson's album Control marked a pivotal moment of musical independence, spawning a series of hits and establishing a distinctive production style and image, all reinforced by innovative video choreography that continues to inspire pop vocalists today. Ben Hogwood of Music praised the significant impact she has had on the new generation of artists vying for her crown, particularly highlighting figures like Britney Spears, Jennifer Lopez, and Christina Aguilera. Khidri Ai Amin noted that many contemporary pop performers emulate Janet's established dance diva persona. Beretta E. Smith Shomade emphasized that Jackson's influence in the realm of music videos was largely propelled by her commercial success, which granted her greater creative freedom and control. This assertion of control significantly shaped the aesthetics and themes of her music videos, providing Jackson with a level of agency that many artists, regardless of gender or race, often lacked. Janet Jackson's videos often evoke the energy of live concerts or grand musical theater productions. In her 30-minute film Rhythm Nation 1814, she breaks away from conventional choreography by incorporating street dance styles. The visual representation of the group showcases a sense of gender-neutral equality, with Jackson performing in a way that feels both asexual and anonymous, blending seamlessly with her fellow dancers. Her music videos have played a significant role in promoting sexual freedom among young women, notably through provocative imagery, such as the suggestive act of guiding a man's head to the desired position. Yet she has faced criticism for alleged cosmetic enhancements, skin lightening, and increasingly sexualized visuals, leading some to argue that she aligns with a white, male-centric perspective on sexuality rather than truly empowering herself or others. Jackson was honored with the MTV Video Vanguard Award for her significant contributions to the medium and became the inaugural recipient of the MTV Icon Tribute, recognizing her profound influence on the music industry. In 2003, Slant magazine included Rhythm Nation and Got Till It's Gone in their list of the 100 greatest music videos, placing them at numbers 87 and 10, respectively. Additionally, in 2011, Rhythm Nation was celebrated as the 10th best music video of the 1980s by Billboard. Janet's concerts have often been likened to summer blockbusters, characterized by explosions, dazzling effects, and revealing outfits that focus more on spectacle than narrative coherence, according to critics. Jet magazine emphasized her groundbreaking stage shows, noting that her global tours have cemented her status as a top-tier performer. Chris Willman from the Los Angeles Times praised the choreography of her Rhythm Nation 1814 tour, describing it as captivating and the pinnacle of the popping and locking dance style, which combines sharp, jerky movements with smooth, flowing gestures. When Janet was asked about the comparisons between her Velvet Rope tour and Broadway productions, she responded with enthusiasm, expressing her love for Broadway and sharing how it influenced her upbringing. Her #1's Up Close and Personal tour marked a shift from grand arena performances to more intimate venues. Critics noted that this change in scale didn't lessen her showmanship, and in many cases, it enhanced it. Greg Kot of the Chicago Tribune observed that in previous tours, her delicate voice sometimes got lost in the enormity of the production, but in a more intimate setting, Janet exuded warmth and passion, making it one of the finest performances he had seen from her in over 2 decades. If you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe, and also click the next video shown on your screen.